Ethan Klein, if you want to have a conversation with me, I am available. I can talk to you about any number of different political disagreements that we have, except this time, I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to treat you with kitty gloves. I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would to an actual political content creator who was expressing your viewpoint about Israel. I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would talk to them. So if you think that I'm afraid of you, I think you and I both know that that's not the case. And so before I keep watching, I need to know, are you a communist? No, of course not. I love capitalism. I'm a liberal of the Democratic Party variety. Everybody knows I am a liberal who almost exclusively defends the Democratic Party. I mean, if you didn't know that, you must be an absolute dumb, right? You know, you'd have to be a real moron, or maybe disingenuously lie and be like, I was groomed as a 40-year-old adult into believing that someone is actually a liberal when they they hid that from me. They hid their true perspective from me. They groomed me into believing that they were a liberal. They'd have to be a real bird-brained moron, or maybe a disingenuous grifter. Maybe a disingenuous grifter who recognizes that the person that they were talking to never really sheltered their views whatsoever. Guys, I have a statue of Lenin behind me. Not right now, obviously. I'm in Japan. I used to think you were cool, consistent, and friendly. I looked past the house because I figured it makes sense. Then I found out you're a commie. Now I realize you're undeniably a baller, based, and live true to your word. You also have good eyebrows. Thank you. Why is the Tim Pool beanie on stream? I'm wearing this so that people will think that I am Tim Pool, and therefore apolitical, and therefore not radical, therefore not playing a formative role in what is actually ruining the United States of America and perhaps the entire planet, which is the rising tide of fascist mobilization, but instead the much scarier thing, which is communism. Everybody knows that's a significantly scarier thing. So yeah, I want people to think I'm Tim Pool instead, which is the furthest you can be from communism, because that's significantly scarier than Donald Trump. I want everybody to understand, make no mistake, I'm a serious person who definitely understands things. Very smart, very intelligent, definitely not a hack, failed, dumb comedian, in air quotes, still doing 2014 memes on the timeline. Well, I'm not on the timeline anymore. I'm actually too scared to be on the timeline, so I just fucking constantly whine about it from behind my Instagram stories, even though I'm a 50-year-old dude with like 3 children, and I spend most of my time online just crying most of it. Anyway, if I was one of those things, then obviously that would be really scary. You know, I'd be really scared of the rising tide of socialism and communism in the United States of America. Ooh, terror. Big terror is what I would say. So that's why I'm looking like Tim Pool today, who surprisingly and completely unrelated to what I was saying. Oh my God, it's 5 a.m. out here, dude. I'm literally oblivious. I'm probably not even making sense right now. What did Tim Pool say recently? Oh, that's interesting. He said, come to the right side. Join the good side, Ethan, he said. Perhaps what I said was completely unrelated. Perhaps it was completely unrelated. Or perhaps if you're the type of person who thinks that like politics can only be consumed from the lens of slop tuber drama cultivated by people who have no political understanding, no political reading whatsoever, no interest, no ideological leanings whatsoever, and are just like dumbasses who are stupid enough to regurgitate Reddit posts that have no research backing them whatsoever, oftentimes coming from a sex pest's very own community, then you are a deeply and pathetically unserious person, and therefore you probably should go and, I don't know, watch the sunset or something. They're going to clip this and misrepresent the tiredness and depressed in the content Chernobyl disaster. Yeah, well, good luck to them. It's 5 a.m. out here. Yeah, I personally think that everyone deserves human rights. Controversial opinion. I personally think everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves human rights. Everyone deserves health care. I know sometimes, okay, listen. Sometimes you really like a apartheid state. Sometimes you really feel some type of way about an apartheid state. And in defense of said apartheid state, you crash out extensively, so much so that you lose a significant percentage of your own audience because they're all like, what the are you saying, dude? There are children being mutilated every day with American tax dollars for 15 months, 16 months. And at the end of that extended crash out, as you've become mentally unwell, you put together the video of all time. People will be like, oh, dude, what do you mean? You can have political disagreements. You can have political disagreements with your friends. It's fine. It's like, it's crazy. Political disagreements aside, like an extended year-long slow burn crash out. Spectacular. Ta-Nehisi Coates was one of the biggest confirmations for me that you are right. Yeah, I mean, but I have Ta-Nehisi Coates and Bernie Sanders, you know, AOC. And then but Ethan has Caffino. Just watch the video and take some accountability. Don't be a pirate software dude. Dude, it's an hour and 40-minute video. Okay, can I just say something? This is genuinely, this might come across a little ableist, but you literally have an intellectual disability if you think that, like, I am fearful of watching an hour and 40-minute video made by a dude who literally thought Roe v. Wade was the gay one.
Roe versus what? Is that the gay one?
No, that's
like when every single child or someone with an actual child brain, a person who literally was a Yang ganger, okay, someone who was in support of Yang gang, who genuinely does not know anything about politics. Like, what am I supposed to do? Watch every crash out? You think like every single time some slop tuber makes a video, this is actually incredibly important points. The only thing you're demonstrating is your own stupidity. It's an hour and 40 minutes of a sex pests, cults, communities, compiled garbage that he took a week off to literally shave off the serial numbers off of, basically, just so that there wasn't that stink associated with it. Because unfortunately for him, his favorite content creator was outed as a sex pest for consensually and unconsensually recording people while they're having sex and then distributing it to a bunch of other 19-year-old Discord e-girl kittens that he wanted to fuck. And then all of those videos were leaked a month ago, including videos of him having sex with his ex-wife, who I know for a fact she has mentioned did not give him consent to release those videos to random people. And the idea that this is a deflection is moronic, because I have mentioned every single stupid point brought up a million times over. But yeah, anyway, have fun though. I assume that you guys are going to try and bait me into losing my shit all day. But yeah, there are already 100 responses to every accusation. I know there's like, you could just go if you truly are invested in the truth. And I'm sure there are some people. There are others who are just going to come in here and be like, well, I'm going to keep it real, man. You're just like avoiding accountability. Yeah, dude, I am pro-Palestine. That's it. I'm pro-Palestine. Okay. If that's news to you, you are the dumbest baby on the planet, all right? I am pro-Palestine. I am anti-genocide. I am someone who is a leftist, okay? I'm a leftist. I do not think capitalism is the final evolution of mankind. I think we can evolve beyond it. There are literally Guantanamo Bay internment prison facilities being set up right now. And if your number one thing is your favorite fucking 50-year-old content creator with 3 children and his endeavors for the past 6 months, you are a deeply unserious person. The only, like, this motherfucker literally only talks about the genocide now when it's to say there's a genocide going on cynically. And his entire fucking baby-brained moronic fan base also reiterate that point over and over again while they think they're making a brilliant point because they misunderstood my initial assessment of the matter, which is that when I'm watching children get mutilated every goddamn day, I think it's a pathetically selfish way to approach that conversation from the personal feelings of a rich 100 millionaire sitting in his Bel Air mansion talking about his own goddamn feelings. That's it. You can call it crash out all day, every day. I'm a goddamn adult. I'm 33 years old. I'm not going to, cover every moron and their own personal feelings and how hurt they've been. And it's taken a year, okay, for me to actually be open about, for me to finally get to this point. I still wish Ethan well, okay? I do. But God, how selfish, how delusional, how stupid to just like think that anyone outside of your marginal fucking cult that you have whittled away over and over again is going to look at the situation and go, yeah, you know what, dude, you are actually right. You've totally convinced me that baby murder, unlimited baby murder is all right now, actually. That like people who call that sort of behavior out are all seemingly radical Islamist extremist terrorists who I will assume are being funded by Qatar or Iran or Saudi Arabia or whatever other Arab nation, because I don't have any understanding of geopolitics anyway. And they're all the same to me. Go spend time with your kids, man. Holy shit. You look crazy. You look like you're literally losing your mind, and virtually everyone can see it. Do you not have any friends? Listen to your producers. I'm sure they have pulled you aside on the background and been like, hey, Ethan, can you stop doing this? It's very uncomfortable every time the camera pans to them. There's a reason for it, because everyone around you thinks you're crazy. God, it took this long for me to finally be like, dude, please, you're never going to get better unless you take accountability. Jesus Christ, go to therapy or something. That must have felt cathartic. I mean, it doesn't feel cathartic at all, because then as the classic like cry bully behavior gets reiterated over and over again, they will go, see, he cares about this. He cares about this so much. And it's like, it doesn't bother me, man. It doesn't. You're not new to this game. It's just deeply embarrassing and everyone can see it. Okay. You went from writing a Keemstar drama nuke to being hyped up by Keemstar. Like, how stupid and malleable are you as a goddamn adult that you can be manipulated by other slop tubers? It's kind of shocking. Brother, you keep agreeing with chatters who say you're giving drama clippers a reaction and saying you're right and then continuing to cover it. Yeah, I know. Because I'm a human, man. I'm a human being, okay? I'm a human being. There's only so much I can take. What are we doing here? This guy literally had a disagreement with me over Israel, ended the podcast. I was so gracious to him, far more gracious than he God deserves. Literally ends the podcast because he can't cut it. Like, he's like, I don't want to talk about politics anymore because people are hurting my feelings when I talk about Israel, and because it kind of comes across like I'm defending Israel. And then everybody goes, oh, you're defending Israel. It's like his whole shtick for the past year has been saying liberal Zionist talking points and then getting mad at everyone when they go, are you a Zionist? And he's like, whoa, this is anti-Semitism. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. What kind of moronic attitude is this? Just don't talk about politics. Just go back to talking about like gooning or Justin Baldoni or whatever new thing is happening online. You're clearly not intellectually equipped enough, and you got deluded by a sex cult. Like, Destiny was able to brainwash you over the course of a year. I'm sorry. You got a child's brain. Go enjoy childish things. The fuck is wrong with you? Why do you have to like literally do politics? Your fan base hates it. You're clearly, all the people in your vicinity hate it. And you're still like, nah, I'm the number one guy. I'm the number one politics guy. Okay, dude, there's plenty of dumb. Go ahead. Have a right wing, do your little right wing tilt, I guess. And then maybe you can find admiration again. But it's probably not going to happen in the liberal sphere that you're trying to carve out for yourself. I'm sorry, liberals, and I disagree with a lot of liberals, okay? But many liberals are still infinitely more intelligent than the fucking average dumbass right-winger. They get manipulated by right-wingers a lot, which is why I get very mad. But it's much harder for you to cultivate a fan base with your unfortunate lack of knowledge over politics in that sphere, okay? Just become a right-winger then. Look at Tim Pool. Got a massive audience. I've been so nice, dude. And you know what the most annoying part is? For a year, I was like, oh man, I don't want to like hear about this stuff. I'm sure Ethan means well, blah, blah, blah. And everyone was in my ear constantly yelling and being like, no, he did this, he did that. And I was like, who cares? He's just like, he's just doing whatever. He's just doing whatever. He's just doing whatever. And everyone was like, no, dude, listen, he made fun of Aaron Bushnell, killing himself. Like, you don't understand. He's like doing all this propaganda, whatever. And in that entire time frame, I was like so charitable. And I was just like, hey, I've heard the things that he said one time in 2021 about how he's like pro-Palestinian, like that's important, whatever. And he did this to himself. Like, that's what's so crazy about this narcissism. Like, these dumb will be like, Hasan, you don't have any accountability for what? You want me to say I'm sorry for being like pro-terrorism or whatever kind of Islamophobic nonsense that you've cultivated over the course of the past 15 months from a sex cults community? God, we have a bingo card for Hasan's reactions. Like, I saw that too. And it's like, you just have no interest in anything real, okay? You have no interest in anything real. You will fall victim to the whims of right-wing politics, okay? If Ethan fully flipped the script and became like a right-winger, then you would also do that because you are a stupid person. Anyway, I hope, and I mean this with genuine sincerity, in all sincerity, I hope this was like, I hope he got it out of his system, you know? I hope he got it out of his system. And instead of like clip chimping everything that I'm saying right now and then posting it on his stupid, silly little drama show, if Ethan wants to talk to me, he can talk to me, okay? He doesn't have to constantly cry as a 50-year-old adult with 3 children from behind an Instagram story. You can talk to me in person, big dog. You got my phone number. We can have a conversation on your stream. We can have a conversation on my stream. Last time, I had the baby gloves on, and you cried like a bitch after doing Teddy Fresh ads in the midst of our genocide coverage. That's right, and I'm not talking about the Leftovers episode where he actually cried. That was a beautiful moment, and I was actually very wrong for thinking that actually meant something. It turned out it didn't mean shit for you at all, because selfishly, you spent the next year constantly ripping into, suspiciously, a lot of, not myself, but other people of color. I'm not calling myself a person of color. I know it's going to get clipped out of context here as well, and then you're going to be like, meh, 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 whatever. No, just noticing that you have just been going after a lot of people of color, Arabs, Muslims in general, just constantly talking about how scary they are. You know, why are they so scary? I don't know, because maybe you're an Islamophobic moron who retweets or basically tweets out Ben Shapiro quotes about Hamas. Maybe that's the reason why people think you're super pro-Israel, okay? Maybe that's why. No accountability, okay? No accountability whatsoever. Constantly pointing the finger at other people. It can't be me. It can't be the broad reception of my worldview. It cannot be the way that people understand where I'm coming from, okay? The way people have heard the same talking points over and over again from people who are genuinely deeply pro-Israel. Maybe that was the reason why people were saying that. No, it must be because of anti-Semitism. And it's like, it's not as though anti-Semitism isn't increasing. It is, okay? And it's something that I understand. It's something that many of these people that Ethan has falsely smeared as anti-Semitic understand. So especially at a time when there's motherfuckers like Nick Fuentes, Jake Shields, or numerous other like actually anti-Semitic monsters out there who are running rampant, hyper-focusing on people who are anti-Zionist and expressly and openly not anti-Semitic is certainly a choice. Yeah, I'll debate you anytime, anywhere. All right, Ethan? The assumption that I'm afraid of you is so idiotic, okay? Tell your God, be honest with your fan base, okay? I'll talk to you anytime, any place. I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense. Like, these morons literally think I'm afraid of a dude who does not know anything about politics and basically just rehashed Willie Mack show and Destiny clips, dude. Like, these guys just literally go to Reddit. That's it. And they just repeat Reddit talking points over and over and over again. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Yeah, I saw Roman also popped off. Because, dude, if you are even remotely interested in politics, you're going to look at this and go, what the fuck are you saying? Incredible video to drop in the current political climate. Fascist takeover happening in the U.S. and tons of other places. And he drops a 2-hour video on the biggest threat to America is Hasan and communism. Lol. LMFAO even. I fully expect Ethan Klein to become an anti-woke grifter within the next 5 years. So H3H's vid on Hasan is dead ass just Red Scare and McCarthyism. I actually haven't even seen anything more pathetic in my life. Bro's trying to pander the last remnants of his right-wing fan base by going after lefty boogeyman streamer right after Trump went as well, and he's doing it also that people forget his controversial Israel takes. Incredible. That's what's so crazy, by the way, which is that like there are a million different ways to try and hit me on like drama related shit. Why the fuck would you try to do politics, man? You're so stupid. How narcissistic of you. How unimaginably narcissistic of you to think that you can like write this brilliant, political work. Like, stick to your lane, dude. What is wrong with you? You look like a clown to adults, okay? Maybe not the cultish fans that have stayed behind, you know?
A lot of people are messaging me saying, Roman, how can you side with Hasan when, he has had terrible Ukraine sakes? And I actually agree. I don't watch Hasan for his Ukraine sakes. In fact, I don't watch him at all. But I do think he's a good force in today's world. You know what I mean? Like, once again, people are getting deported, Ethan. and you drop in a 2-hour video on Hasan Piker saying that Hasan and communism is actually what's destroying America today, you know? Like, please. If you're choosing between Hasan Piker, who, once again, talks about real issues and is like, in my opinion, once again, a good force in this world currently, from my point of view, from where I stand, you know what I mean? Who actually talks about real issues, you know, that minorities face and so on. Ethan Klein, though, he just talks about, like...
You know what? You want to know what's crazy about this? Like, these guys... And this is what's so frustrating to me about, like, Ethan, I can't believe is a part of this group now. But there are a lot of people online, like, what is his name? Like, Turkey Tom or something. Like, that's one of those guys. Like, all these dudes that have been, you know, actually leaving Destiny's orbit now after suckling on his teat for maybe the past 3 years. Willie Mack Show, all these slop tubers, right? Just names that I never wanted to learn. They have no interest in politics whatsoever. And to them, it's just another way to extend the algorithmic boost that they can get. That's what's so annoying about it. That's what's so goddamn annoying about this process is just like for them, it's just all drama. It's all drama. Ukraine, drama. Palestine, drama. What is this? I think Ethan just wants to defame you and for you to react by suing him. I'm not even going to watch his video. And by the way, if I did, get great views overall. I'm not even going to dignify it. And you can say it's because I'm scared. If you are literally the dumbest person in the United States of America, perhaps the entire planet, then yes, you can think that. I am stating it very clearly. Ethan Klein, if you want to have a conversation with me, I am available. I can talk to you about any number of different political disagreements that we have, except this time, I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to treat you with kitty gloves. I'm not going to talk to you like you're a special boy who deserves my special attention and that you're so funny and so special. I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would to an actual political content creator. If there is a political commentator out there who was expressing your viewpoint about Israel, I'm going to talk to you in the same exact way that I would talk to them. So if you think that I'm afraid of you, I think you and I both know that that's not the case. I think you and I both know that there's a reason why, despite the fact that you and I have very similar enemies, some of which you've turned into your friends, even after they got, you know, unfortunately they got outed as sex pests. But I think you and I both know that I didn't run away from Twitter. I don't have to constantly go to subreddits and clip stuff from those subreddits to post on my Instagram page instead of hanging out with my friends and family. Don't be a idiot. Fuck him at this point. Debating him won't change his mind. I don't give a fuck about changing his mind. I did. Okay. I tried changing his mind. Maybe this time I'll bring Sam Cedar and you'll be the one saying, oh my God, Sam Cedar, what a nightmare, because you know, you've been running away from him. Yeah. I wonder why Ethan Klein won't talk to Sam Cedar. In private correspondence, I told you, I said, hey man, I know you don't respect me, because he's claimed that I wasn't like talking to him at all. So I said, hey, I don't think you respect me at all, but you respect Sam Cedar. You should talk to him. You should talk to him about this issue. He has a lot of lived experience. And he said that was anti-Semitic. Everything is anti-Semitic. Anyway.
Celebrity drama or whatever, like, off, please. What it all comes down to is that I just don't believe that Ethan Klein, you know, cares about any of these issues.
Yes, that's what's so fucking annoying about it. He doesn't. He does not. That is what's so unimaginably annoying about this entire process. He doesn't give a single shred of a fuck about any of these issues. And it is literally ego. It's not even like a significant political disagreement, by the way. It's more so ego. That's what's so frustrating. And that's what really makes me mad about all of the people that hyper focus on this. It's just ego. It is a man who feels scorned. It is a man who bravely took the step online and became a more progressive person. That is the journey here. A person who had some reactionary takes, a person who openly said the N-word a million times over and numerous other slurs, saying, you know what, this is the old me, this is not the real me, okay? I am going to become a better person. That is a person I will always admire, okay? It doesn't matter if his name is Ethan Klein, doesn't matter who that person is. I will always admire someone who has the dignity and the courage to openly say, I was wrong for doing this stuff. This is not who I am. Just understand, iDubbbz being a great example of this, right? But yeah, after you cultivated a fairly progressive online fan base, you turned around and you had some opinions that you demonstrated that were directly at odds with said progressive fan base. And instead of going, hey man, maybe I should really reconsider my output here. I wonder why a lot of these people are saying this in the most narcissistic ways possible. You just looked to blame others instead of saying, hey, maybe my output here is the reason why people are reacting to what I'm saying in the way that they're reacting to it. You were like, no, it must be something different. You said you hid your power level to infiltrate his fan base and turn them against him. Guys clearly lost the plot. Yeah, that's such an insane take, man. No, dog. You actually made your fan base very progressive. And it's basically this. The entire quote unquote content nuke is this.
You're also kind of borderline teetering on what would most people say is socialism, my guy. Like,
wait, what? Let me tell you something about myself then. I don't give a shit. I don't think that the capitalist organization of the economy is adequate. We don't need to have that conversation. But yes,
no, there's no way you believe in that. Hey,
socialism is not a poverty cult. You don't have to be poor to be socialist, even though you can still advocate for those who are less fortunate than you.
The question that is on everyone's minds is like, there's two things here. There's two outcomes to this. Either you are the dumbest person on the planet and just like, whenever I described my political worldview, it just like went in from one ear and out the other. No bus stop in there. Okay. No pit stops in there whatsoever. It was just like information coming in and out. Okay. Nothing in there. An empty hallway. All right. And you're like, I thought you were like a, kind of progressive, vote blue no matter who type Democrat. What is going on? And if that's the case, then you have no business doing political commentary. Because what the fuck are you saying? Like, what do you mean? Then you're just like ill-equipped to have this conversation. You've openly demonstrated that.
I consider myself a liberal, but in the American political lexicon, I guess like I'm super liberal. That's what that's what Americans think liberalism is. Like the more left you are, the more liberal you are. Even though there is a genuine distinction between the leftist and the liberal, but yeah, I'm progressive. I guess that's the catch-all term.
I like progressive.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to be progressive? It's in the name. We're progressing.
Progress.
Yeah, well, that's why like early stage classical liberals who like wanted to rebrand, like Dave Rubin, for example, who now are very openly on the right and like everyone knows it. They originally tried to say like they're the real progressives, and that the people who brand themselves as progressives, people like myself, they were actually regressive.
George Soros and Google. He wears jackets that say "Bash Fascist."
I'm sorry, I got to stop again. What is wrong with hating fascists? I just don't understand that point. Aren't we supposed to hate fascists?
Has a club in his hand.
We're supposed to hate fascists as Americans.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. And then they'll say like Antifa is the real
This is not in his content nuke, chatters. This is just our first ever on-camera conversation. The reason why I suspect someone spliced these two things together is because they wanted to show how fraudulent and how idiotic this is for Ethan to be like, I was duped. I was groomed into believing radical politics by this big scary man, when even before we had a podcast together, I never sheltered him from my true opinion. I even say it there. I'm like, I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, but in American politics, because people's false understanding of liberalism, they would say I'm a super liberal. So what's really interesting about this entire process, despite the fact that I have a literal like Lenin bust behind me, a Che Guevara bust, and a USSR Ushanka behind me, and also prominently display other famous leftist political figures, revolutionary political figures, and also Bernie Sanders, who is himself a socialist, and go through the minutia and the process of explaining to him over and over again what my political worldview looks like. He just, I guess, either A, forgot what that conversation looked like and how that took place, or B, a second thing, and is cynically trying to present it as though I was secretly hiding the truth. Okay, I was secretly hiding the truth.
Real fascists. Okay, then still bashing the fascists in that circumstance is still good, no? Like, I don't get it.
I thought fascism
makes
was
no
like the
sense.
antithesis of everything America stood for.
Yeah,
But apparently
supposed to be.
it's supposed to be. Okay, I'll try not to pause, but there's just packed full
It
of
is
stuff.
packed.
Turk. They tasted the blood of 1.5 million Christian Armenians, and they'll taste man flesh again. What the fuck? If they have their way.
I think he said he thought you were a dem sock like him. First of all, he's not a democratic socialist. Ethan is barely a social democrat. Okay, what are you talking about? There's a distinction between democratic socialism and social democracy. Social democracy is pro-capitalist. I often will openly state that in a place like the United States of America, it is a reactionary shithole where there's no class consciousness whatsoever, that social democrats are seen as radicals in this country, okay? And they're still in line with improving the material conditions of the working class in the United States of America. You told Ethan multiple times that you wish you hid being a socialist. That's the other problem. That's the other issue. I've told him before, but that's not my problem. I'm sorry, man. If you don't understand the difference between a democratic socialist and a social democrat, how the fuck is that my fault, dude? I've explained it before. Like, what are we doing here? Dude, I'm sorry. In the year 2025, we're not doing that. In the year 2025, we're not gonna let other people's misunderstandings become everybody else's problem, because that's ridiculous. Why so scared? Do I look scared? What are you talking about? You won't watch the video? Brother, instead of demanding I watch the video, demand Ethan talk to me in person, okay? Because if you think I'm fearful of Ethan Klein and his political prowess, I'm here to tell you I'm not, okay? Go tell Ethan to have a conversation with me, okay? Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Why can't he have a conversation with me? Why? Is it perhaps easier to clip things that I'm saying out of context in my reaction? Is that why? So that he can shelter his audience? Is that the reason why? Or is it because he's actually afraid? Because I think it's the second thing. Just like he was too scared to talk to Sam Cedar in private. To go into a debate about something, you should first watch the content, right? Or do you go into blind every debate? I go in blind. You want to know why? That's how confident I am in my worldview and in my knowledge in this space. Also, I'm not going in blind. Let's be real. It's the exact same things I've addressed a million times over. It's not new nor unique. Having said that, however, this is a very interesting thing. This is a very interesting thing that I've seen from people where they go, oh, dude, why don't you watch the video? Okay. Why wouldn't you want me to just like debate the issues if the issues are related to me? You think I don't know the subject matter very well? I'm the subject matter. What is happening? Yeah, he can just argue the points in the video if he wants to directly to my face, and we can have a conversation about that as well. A list of lies made by Ethan Klein. Ethan claims communism is on the rise. From Elon Nazi saluting at Trump's inauguration to the AfD in Germany, communism is clearly not on the rise. Hasan never introduced himself as a social democrat. Hasan talked about education programs, not re-education camps. Hasan never runs full defense of China, especially regarding their treatment of the Uyghurs. Ethan shares an edited clip that cuts out where Hasan explains that he cannot control his chat from calling Ethan a racist for saying racist things. Yeah, that's another one of these fucking annoying little parts about this back and forth and this drama, which is that like the conversation I had with Ethan ended with me saying, Ethan, there's only so much I can do to control the narrative in your favor if you keep saying things that people are going to interpret as you being pro-Israel. And it's not because you're Jewish. And even though, to be fair, I'm sure there are plenty of people who are like, oh, he's Jewish, and they suspect you of being pro-Israel and are deeply anti-Semitic, right? Having said that, there are plenty of people in your fan base who aren't anti-Semitic, who also absolutely made up their own minds after listening to the way you talk about Gaza. He cuts out continuously, there's only so much I can do, and leaves out, if you continue to say things like this, people are going to think you believe them and get mad at you. Yeah. Shows a random clip of someone being anti-Semitic, claims Hasan does not care about Israelis because of his lack of reaction. Hasan never justifies sexual violence. He routinely says that sexual violence likely occurred during October 7th and regularly cites the UN investigation that had one credible documented instance of sexual violence. He says that the sexual violence that may have happened on October 7th is not a justification for genocide. Hasan never said that Israel should let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained. Dude, it's, for the record, easiest like 500,000 view video of your life if you just like look at all of the clips that Ethan used and go on Twitch, go to the VOD, and extend the clip by like 30 seconds and just be like, this is the full context.
here he is responding to a chatter. Actually, this is not his opinion. This is clearly something that he's responding to that he's reading in chat. Okay. Or this video was clipped to make it seem like, Hasan is advocating for this position when it's actually the exact opposite position he's advocating for. The only part about this that's like frustrating, though, is that there are well-intentioned people that are duped in this process. There are well-intentioned people that will get duped in this process. People who are just like kind-hearted liberals who are probably open-minded to the way I see the world, and if given the opportunity, would recognize that the things that I advocate for, they also agree to. But they'll see this video and go, oh, this guy's a dangerous, like, terrorist lover who loves terrorism. He wants to do terrorism.
There is not a single dissenting voice with his straight up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic.
Oh, you want some of this? You want some of this? Okay. Let me give it to you. Hold on.
Pro-China, pro-Russia, pro-terrorism takes. This is fringe, psychotic that is not normal. And it is the only acceptable voice on Twitch. Explain that to me. How is there not one dissenting voice on that entire platform?
Mushroom. Yes. Oh, mushroom ears.
Yeah, the funniest part about this is that, like, even though this is obviously awfully sourced slop, which basically rehashes the same fake drama that Redditors have mostly clipped out of context. Very dedicated Reddit community comprised of a sex pestiny cult leader who has his own personal bone to pick with me. Okay, just watch the video instead of people reacting to it. I am not going to watch the video. I will, however, talk to Ethan directly if he wants my attention that bad. I know that you want me to watch the video. I know that he really wants me to watch the video, but I'll just debate him. If he wants to have this conversation, we can have it. Oh, and he said nobody knows where these guys are. Oh yeah, they recently released the crew of the seized cargo ship Galaxy Leader after the ceasefire was implemented. So the idea that nobody knows where these guys are is also silly. Once again, this is just such bad, like, it's slop. This is what slop is, okay? When you don't actually do your due diligence and you literally just like stamp all of this nonsense that you found on subreddits that are obviously geared in a very specific direction, and you just don't even Google something. Like, this isn't meticulous research, dude. Like, what are we doing? How is this like, yeah, why do you have to watch a video of yourself when you said and did whatever you were supposed to watch? You don't understand. It's because these guys want to make clips. That's it. They want to make more clips. That's pretty much the reason.